Pamit Mukherjee. I'm a senior partner solutions architect with AWS and focused on the data analytics and machine learning practice. Let me go to the presentations. Let me switch up this one. So today's topic is mainly on AI/ML on AWS, and basically whatever we've been announced in the 2020 reInvent, we're gonna talk in details, and we'll have some customers' testimonials on that, whoever is using, and I will take from there. And I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Here is my email address. You can send me an email 101, or let me know. I'm in the LinkedIn as well. You can ask me any questions over there too. So as you know, the reach of the ML is really growing a lot, right? So machine learning has been begin an aspirational technology to become a very mainstream, very fast. And long time, this technology was very limited to a major tech companies, and it was more on hardcore academic researchers. But now things became changes, and the reason is with the cloud computing, the machine learning has now become mainstream, not only for the data scientists and hardcore the tech companies. It is available for any industry, for any segment of business or business units, right? And as you see, by 2021, the global spending of AI and the cognitive technology will exceed 15 billion as per IDC report. And a lot of companies are transformations is happening on the AI. They are building their new applications, having a machine learning embedded into their applications is very rapidly. And that being said, 57% said that AI would transform their organizations in next 3 years, as per the Deloitte report. Now, machine learning on AWS is happening all across for any segment, any industries you can thought of. We have a lot of customers and hundreds and thousands of their customers' workloads are running on in AWS. For example, Siemens, Tinder, Airbnb, Canker. So many customers, they use machine learning in some way and some form in their application to solve some business objectives. Now, why AWS for ML?
Hey, Ahmed, by the way, I just turned off your camera so we don't have any bandwidth issues.
Okay, sure, thank you. So give me 1 second. This has popped up in here. Give me 1 second. I need to just stop scaring for 1 second.
Okay.
I'll put back again. Okay, so we are talking about why AWS for ML. So there are 3 main reasons. So first, we provide the broadest and deepest set of machine learning and AI service for your business. So AWS has unmatched breadth and depth of capabilities and services we offer to our customers. We launched more than 250 plus new services and features in the last year itself. And the pace is continuously innovating, and we love waking virtually every day, and new capabilities you will get in a finger of your tips. Second, we accelerate the adoption of machine learning in a more easier way. With the launch of SageMaker, it makes more easier for everybody, developer and data scientists, to embrace machine learning in their day-to-day activities or day-to-day business activities. Before SageMaker, doing ML was just too hard, right? I mean, you have to launch an notebook instance, you have to prepare the codes, and you have to making sure all the firewalls has been allocated so that you can launch it, and deployment is another challenge. So there are a lot of challenges, and that's one of the reasons many times the machine learning is more on kind of in prototyping stage. It's never been on production and that scale. So with the help of SageMaker, we've been simplified that process, and that's a single pane of service where you can build, chain, tune, and deploy machine learning model at scale. And the last but not least is you get a confidence of building AWS, the most comprehensive cloud platform for optimized for machine learning. So that's what we say, that if you look at the amount of TensorFlow runs on the cloud, that 85% of the TensorFlow runs on AWS. So that's much of power and capabilities we have in our computing standpoint. Now, one more slide before I go to the technical one. That's more on the Gartner Magic Quadrant. This is for 2020. So AWS has named the leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for cloud AI based on ability to execute and completeness of the vision. And if you see here, the AWS as a top leader in this quadrant. Now, let's talk about our ML stack. So we have been focused our ML stack in 3 layers. All the way the bottom layer, which you see here, that's more for our data scientists and machine learning practitioner and researcher who want to have a greater control on the infrastructure. They want to have a more control on the algorithms, and they want to get everything by their own, and that's meant for them. So that's called a framework and infrastructure layer. And we do support wide variety of framework, for example, TensorFlow, MXNet, PyTorch, Microsoft CNTK, and Gluon, Keras, and all that, right? The middle layer, which I was talking just before, is a SageMaker layer, which is basically a single machine learning platform where you can build, train, tune, deploy machine learning model at scale. And we have been announced a lot of new features, and I'm going to touch upon those features in a subsequent slides. And you can see that the features which has been highlighted as new, these are the features been announced in reInvent. And the top layer, which is basically a API based the AI services, so which is exposed to an API. So we have a trained model which is hosted on AWS. We use those APIs and build a sophisticated machine learning based application. So we have lot and many services in the API layers. Some of the services, for example, Health Lake, Panorama, Monitron, and all these new services which been announced in the reInvent. I'll talk in the subsequent slide, but this layers, I mean, not layer, this particular the category like vision, speech, we do have an existing services which has been announced a lot before the last year reInvent. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, so that was been announced last year reInvent. So I'm not going to touch upon that, but in short, I can tell you that on a vision we have an Amazon Rekognition, speech we have Poly and Transcribe. If you for the text side, we have Comprehend, Translate, and TextRack. We have Kendra, which is an enterprise search system, enterprise search AI services. We have Lex, which is kind of a chatbot service. We have Personalized for any kind of a personalizations if you want to do for your business. Forecast for any forecasting problem you want to solve. We have Fraud Detector. A lot of financial service customer use Fraud Detector to identify the fraud within the business. And last but not least, the Contact Center, which is in cloud based the call center, and we have Contact Lens on that, where we have a machine learning capabilities. We're not going to touch on this part in this in this sessions. We're only going to touch upon which has been announced the last year reInvent, which is highlighted as new. Now let's start with the all the way the SageMaker layer, right? Let's see what are the new services we've been announced in this last year reInvent. One is the SageMaker Data Wrangler. So SageMaker Data Wrangler is a new feature within the SageMaker which enable SageMaker Studio that makes it easy for data scientists and ML engineer to prepare the data for machine learning applications by a very visual interface. So that's basically a SageMaker Data Wrangler. So you can get that data prepared in a very visual way. So you no need to, and behind the scene, it will generate the code for sure, but it makes you much easier way to prepare the data so that you can easily use for the machine learning. We have a customer reference here, which is called 3M. As you know that 3M is a corporate operations over 70 countries. And it's today, if you see any product like home, business, schools, hospitals, you will see some sort of 3M products. And they have been using machine learning for a long time, and they have used SageMaker Data Wrangler, which make them easy to prepare the data for their for their model training. SageMaker Pipeline, as you know that the DevOps approach in a software development, the same thing in the machine learning. If you want to apply DevOps, that's called MLOps. So SageMaker Pipeline basically solves the problem to automate the machine learning pipeline to train, deploy, and management of the model, and deployment and training of the model. All these things, and that's the basically we try to solve that problem. Whoever the customer doing this very manual way. With SageMaker Pipeline, they can do it very easily. So we have a customer called Care.com. So Care.com is the world's largest the platform for finding any high quality, helping them the high quality family care. And they have a machine learning models and high quality models, and they are using more on the kind of a manual way to deploy it. And with SageMaker Pipeline, they have automated all this deployment and management, model management, and the training part in a very sophisticated way. And they have one of our customer who have been using SageMaker Pipeline very successfully. SageMaker Managed Distributed Training, so which is basically help customer where have a huge amount of data and lots of models you want to train parallelly and also deploy the train the model parallelly, and also split the data in a different channel so that they can be trained faster. That's for them. So SageMaker managed distribution reduced the training time. It optimized nearly, even if you use any open source frameworks such as Horobird and those things, that also give the similar capabilities. But in a managed distributed training, you no need to bring those open source things. We take care of that one, and with a few lines of code changes, you can deploy the SageMaker managed distributed training within SageMaker, and you can train the models in any parallel way, and then also you can do that data parallelism at the same time. So Latent Space is one of the customer. So who has basically the Latent Space basically democratized the creativity of the 3D games engine, and they have lots of data as you can imagine, and there are a lot of models also there. So they use SageMaker, this the SageMaker managed distribution training to basically train the model in a very efficient way, and also they do the data parallelism feature so that they can huge amount of data they can train in a very small amount of time. SageMaker Edge Manager, which is basically an ML ops at the edge. So whatever we've been talked so far, the SageMaker, that is more at the cloud, and the Edge Manager, if you have a computer vision or machine learning at the edge type of scenarios where you want to deploy the model across the fleet in a very seamless fashion, and you want to maintain that model, maintain that fleet, you can use SageMaker Edge Manager, and that give you the very native way to compile the model using SageMaker Neo, and then packages together, deploy it, and if any type of any model drift or anything is happening within the edge devices, you can easily identify using a SageMaker Edge Manager. So Lenovo is one of our customer. So Lenovo, as you can understand, it's a hardware provider and committed to bring all this the computers and the laptops. So their devices are they want to check how they can identify if anything have problem happening on their devices so that they can get an notifications before. So they use SageMaker Edge Manager, and which help them to eliminate the manual effort to optimize, monitor, and continuously improve the models after even deployment. And they are doing it after the launch of SageMaker Edge Manager. SageMaker Clarify. So it's basically meant for the any bias detection and model explainability within your model. So the bias, if your bias can be in your data set or can be your model. So for example, let's say you are predicting a mortgage, the house price, right? For the mortgage companies, you're predicting the house price, and that house price could have a multiple features. For example, the square feet of the house, or maybe the number of bedrooms, how far from the town, and all that. And you may have built that model 5 years back and deployed into production, which is working good. But now suddenly that model is not working well, and you are not predicting the correct information. And the reason could be maybe the mortgage rate has changed from last 5 years to now, and that's become a concept drift. How you can easily identify your concept drift within your model so that your model you can recalibrate or retrain with a new set of data, and before and deploy it back to production. So SageMaker Clarify give that kind of an flexibility to identify any biases on the model or in the data. And explainability is one of the other feature which also tells what particular feature is more important within your model to get that kind of a prediction. So for example, if you are doing some, let's say, any kind of a loan processing, and if you are rejecting a customer loans, you also need to tell to customer why it has been rejected, right? So how you can identify those features within the models to tell that, okay, for this particular features is get more precedence on the model, and that's the reason this kind of a prediction came out, or maybe the risk score came out, and you can tell your customer. With that, we do have a customer called Jopa, exactly the same angle they're using, which is a digital bank, and they use machine learning to possibly identify any fraud in their loan applications. So they use SageMaker SageMaker Clarify to basically tell the customer what is the reason they are denying those loans, and what is the confidence, so that they can get a better customer experience. So with that, they are now able to produce model explanation more quickly and seamlessly for their customers. SageMaker Debugger, which is another feature, it basically detects the bottlenecks and the training problem in a real time and train the model faster, right? So let's say it uses a profiling capabilities, which basically checks whether in your CPU and the GPU whether any resource blocker are there. If there is a resource blocker, what is the root cause of that? Will give you some kind of a recommendation as well, so that you can do the deep profiling, which is the next the key features, and you can using those recommendations you can optimize your training time and it can save the cost as well. So Autodesk is a leader in the 3D design engineering and the entertainment software segment, and they use the SageMaker debugger, which basically help them to find the model, the training of the model building training times to show that they can identify where is the bottleneck, and which basically optimizes their training hours by 75%. But with all that, this still machine learning is hard. It's time consuming. It's required a specific set of knowledge. It's required a cloud infrastructure knowledge, and lot of time. It's become a very incumbent process and lot of trial and errors you have to do. And sometimes customer says that, hey, it is becoming very hard. How we can get started? Do you have any kind of an boilerplate? Do you have any kind of an code snippet, or do you help us to give some kind of an the foundation or or maybe some kind of an starting point where we can get started with our solutions. And with that, we've been launched SageMaker Jumpstart, which is have a very easily and quickly you can bring machine learning applications to your customer. It has 15 plus pre-built solutions, and when you say the solutions, means it's end-to-end applications architecture with an the code sample, notebooks, and everything which you can deploy to the customer environment, and then you can inherit that and build on top of that to solve a customer use case. And we do support a lot of use cases as part of the Jumpstart, and we are keep on adding that. For example, autonomous driving space, predicting maintenance space, customer churn, fraud detection, the forecasting, all and the credit risk prediction. You can see these are the use cases we help customer very commonly to on the machine learning space, right? And we build some the template. You can get it and you can start from there. So predictive, you can see these are the predictive maintenance, demand forecasting. These are the GitHub link. You will see that once we send that, the PDF versions to Ron, he will upload it. You can see from there, or else you can go to this, the all the way down link called SageMaker Jumpstart Get Started. So you can go to that link and you can use any of the use cases you want for your customer, and you can deploy quickly to your customer environment. My case is one of the customer who basically offers a powerful legal patients management software for the legal firms, and they came to us and say, hey, we want to use machine learning for my business. Can you help us to do that one, or how we get started? So we start with a SageMaker Jumpstart with them, and it helps them to deploy machine learning model for their use cases in 4 to 6 weeks instead of 3 to 4 months. Now, I will now switch the gear on the AI stack now, which is basically in this layer. In this AI stack, we have a lot of new services been announced. We can see from all the new services we'll be talking subsequent slides, and that is basically meant for the developer community who basically wants to use machine learning in their day-to-day application without knowing much on the machine learnings or without having any PhD degree. So this in 2020, our focused more on the industrial services and for the industrial customers. So a lot of new services announced on that. For example, Panorama, look out for equipment, look out for vision, monitoring, and so on. Let's talk in one by one all these services. So AWS Panorama, which is an appliance, basically it's a Panorama appliance, was built and managed computer vision application at the edge. So what happens is many times customers said, hey, we have a lot of existing the cameras, we've been invested a lot, and we want to use our existing cameras to become more smarter, and you want to use the computer vision kind of a technology, how you can help us. So we've been launched Panorama, and what it does is basically, so whatever you are seeing on the left side, the device, it is kind of a, think about it as kind of a gateway, which you can put it to a customer actual location. For example, any auto manufacturing customer, you can just plot it over there, and those cameras, they are existing cameras, they can stream the videos in this Panorama appliances. And in Panorama appliances, you can deploy a deep learning or computer vision models, and which will give you kind of an CV at the edge solution, and you can build a sophisticated application on top of that. Only the thing is, if you want to use this kind of an approach, your cameras has to have support RTSP protocol. If it supports RTSP protocol, it can easily, you can stream the video frames back to Panorama appliances. We do have a customer called Parkland. So Parkland is a Canadian, the largest convenience store. So they have used the Panorama to optimize the operation and increase the convenience stores visitors. So they use the visitor, they have planted those cameras into the outside in their convenience store, and they have a Panorama inside the store itself. So what they're trying to predict is how the visitors is coming, whether they're coming to take just a gas or they are going to come to a convenience store to buy something. So they can understand the customer behavior, and accordingly they can help customer, how many customers are more getting a gas versus coming to the convenience store, that kind of a data. Panorama SDKs, which is kind of an another thing. So if we've been announced Panorama SDK, will be announcing, it is right now in preview, we'll be announcing in GA pretty soon. So it's mainly built for the hardware companies who are building the cameras, for example, EditorLink or Axis or Bachelor. So they can use the Panorama SDK within their devices to easily communicate with the Panorama appliances. Now, next is Amazon Lookout for Vision. So Amazon Lookout for Vision is a machine learning service that improves industrial production quality and operational efficiency by identifying any visual defects within the object. So it detects anomalies in objects through training on the predefined set of good images on those objects, right? And it's required as minimum as 30 images to start with, and it does not require any machine learning expertise. And it has a capability to automatically learn as you go through the process. So one of the renowned customers, GE Healthcare, which drives the high quality medical equipment. So they have used Lookout for Vision for improve their speed, consistency, and accuracy to detect any product defects across their factories within Japan. Amazon Lookout for Equipment, which is another service. So today, the major challenge is machine learning is a maintenance, right? How do you can do the predictive maintenance on your machinery? And it's very important. We do take care of this predictive maintenance before those machines become burnt out or become making problems and produce some not produce some defective products, right? So predictive maintenance is very important on that aspect. And Amazon Lookout for Equipment basically takes the historical equipment data from existing sensors or any historical maintenance records and build a custom machine learning model that learns that normal behavior patterns and machines. And when the operational data deviates from those known normal behavior of those machines, then Amazon Lookout for Equipment flag those deviation. And this means you can accurately detect any equipment abnormalities, quickly diagnose those issues, and take actions to reduce downtime and avoid any critical failure and optimize those machine performance. So GEPS, which is basically it's a Korea the green power production company in Korea. So they use the Lookout for equipment to enable their power plant operations team to build a model for their equipments, and that does not require any ML expertise to build that one. Amazon Monitron, which is an end-to-end machine learning service, so it does not require to do any single line of code. It's a packaged product. So you can see all the way the left, there's a yellow small sensors up there, and there is a gateway. So basically, these sensors you can just stick into your existing the equipment, and it will identify any pressure, temperature, vibrations, and all that, and will send it to the gateway, and the gateway will send the data back to an Amazon monitoring service, and Amazon monitoring service will identify if you have any kind of an anomalies on that, and it will, if it has, then it will comes with a mobile kind of an iOS and Android app, and will send you the feedback or the data over there, and it has a feedback mechanism. If you feel that that particular prediction is correct, you can do a thumbs up or thumbs down, and you can, and you can plant it for, there's mobile app, can somebody in the into the industry floors or manufacturing industries, wherever the peoples are working, they can have it and they can identify if their machines are working well or not. So it's end-to-end solutions. You no need to do any single line of code and does not require any ML expertise. So again, as a GE Gas Power, have been our customer who have been using this monitor successfully. So they have just buy some of those monitoring devices and they stick their existing plants, and they are sending the data back to AWS and getting the health of their equipment in a fingertip. Amazon Lookout for Metrics, which is we use. This is a kind of a service which we've been also leveraging for last 20 years within identifying the anomalies within Amazon. So it basically monitored the status of your connected vehicle fleet, is implement any anomalies detectors in your fleet, and it monitors any kind of the anomalies, for example, dips in the fuel or power consumptions or pressure or vibrations like that. So you can send the data back to S3, which is our object storage, and from there you can build a custom model using Amazon metrics. I mean, custom model means you just pass the data, it will build a model, deploy it into the metrics, and then you can use a wide variety of an application. For example, building a downstream application using Lambda or something, which is our serverless compute system, to notify the downstream application, or you can use a SNS alert in your mobile or email to notify to your team, is there any anomalies found. So one of the customer called Playrix, so they have been using that one. They're basically a mobile game developer users, and they use Lookout for Metrics to detect any anomalies across the wide variety of data sources to ensure their game systems are running smoothly. Now, another services which is on the healthcare industry. So as you know, the healthcare data is very inconsistent, unstructured, and complex. Lot of data in a different silos like lab reports, X-rays, doctor notes. It's all across, right? So what HealthLake does is basically it's a HIPAA eligible service that enables healthcare provider and the pharmaceutical companies to store, transform, query, analyze petabyte scale data. So that's the purpose of the health lake. And how does it work? You have structured, unstructured, all sort of data, even the lab reports. You pass it to the health lake. It basically understands the FHIR format, which is an industry standards. All the medical reports, it can do the ontology mapping in ICD-10 format. It structure it, index it, so that you can use those data either for a search purpose for your third-party applications, or you can build a sophisticated machine learning model out of those data. Now, Kernel is one of the health lake adapter. So they, as you know, they are the global healthcare technology company, which is focused on using the data and help solve issues for their customers. And it's evolving in the healthcare to enhance clinical and operational outcome to resolve clinical burnt out and improve health quality. So what they do is basically they have a lot of unstructured data and all across for their patient information. They use Health Lake to potentially gather all this data, ingest it, and transform it and make it ready for a search purpose so that they can use it very quickly. Now, the Code Guru, which is not a new service, it has been announced 2019 reInvent, which is basically it basically helps to on the DevOps area, basically. So if you want to write and review the codes in a machine learning, you can do that one. That kind of a service it is, and you can build, test any optimize any particular line need to be optimized, or give some why it is that particular line is very costly. It will give that kind of a recommendation, and you can deploy it easily. But in this year reInvent, we've been announced DevOps Guru. So we are this service which provides our DevOps engineers and early warning systems for operational issues. So what it does, it will automatically identify your operational problems from the CloudWatch, which is our monitoring service, and the CloudTrail, which is our the audit trail. Okay, in a cloud trail you can find all the audit trail logs and all that, and you gather all this information, and it provide a remediation guidance in to your system operations engineer to fix them before it becomes more challenging and become more problematic. So that kind of a feature DevOps Guru provides. So we have a customer called Nextrol, which is basically a marketing technology company. They have a lot of EC2 instances running for their applications, and they have a lot. The team is spending the hours and days of time to identify the operational issues. So they have been using the DevOps Guru to leverage the ML-powered insights to identify any bottlenecks or any problems or operational issues within their systems, so they can save their times to and reduce their MTTR. So that's all I have for the AIML standpoint, which has been announced the 2020 reInvent. Thank you very much.